Okay, guys, welcome back to a new video here. We've had a lot going on recently, specifically in the media sphere, and especially with Israel's escalation in the war in the Gaza Strip. We've seen a significant number of civilian casualties in the last few weeks. It has been an absolute catastrophe, some of the things we've been seeing. And this has led to a number of major Western allies, like the UK, France, basically calling out Israel for the first time, basically saying, if this continues, we're going to basically cut off ties. We're going to sanction you. Basically, a lot of the rhetoric is starting to change because for a lot of countries, it's just becoming too much. And a lot of people have been calling it out far longer, obviously. But even a bunch of media people like Piers Morgan, who's been staunchly supportive of Israel throughout this entire conflict, he's completely turned. In fact, the other day, he even conceded to Mehdi Hassan live on air that basically, yeah, I was wrong. Israel actually is committing a genocide. That is what Piers Morgan was conceding to Mehdi Hassan, which is a pretty wild clip to see that. And basically, Piers Morgan, I mean, again, credit to him. He had on the Israeli ambassador here where he absolutely grilled her in a heated interview and called out a number of statements she was making a number of wild accusations, basically saying, first of all, if you want us to actually trust you and believe the numbers and believe what you're saying and what you're doing is humanitarian, let actual foreign journalists in. And we're going to show you the clips of all this too. Let the foreign journalists in, but they're not letting foreign journalists in. And again, the Israeli government's line is basically, we're not letting in governments in to protect the people or to protect the journalists, which is completely absurd. And even a number of people like Douglas Murray, for example, and a lot of people say, oh, I've been to Gaza. I've been to Gaza. They've been showing me around. Yeah, but they go in with the Israeli military. So again, it's very propagandized. It's a very neutered in the sense of what you're seeing. Again, the only actual journalists who are there are the Palestinian journalists and the ones who go in with the IDF. There's not really, the BBC is not sending in people because they're not allowed to go in because Israel does not allow it, which is wild. That's not any sort of standard like that for any other war zone in the world. So that's completely insane. And then, of course, Piers basically presses her on the Palestinian casualties. And this is probably the most viral clip of the entire interview, which was absolutely wild. And basically, Piers Morgan calls her out. And basically, the Israeli ambassador to the UK calls out Piers for basically saying blood libels against Jewish people, which is completely wild to see. So let me just show you the clip and we'll talk about it after. I thought it was an absolutely wild moment. I thought Piers did a good job of pushing back here and did pretty good journalism here. So here's a clip and we'll talk about it after. And guys, make sure to like and subscribe, by the way. It's super good for the algorithm. So hit that subscribe button, and also my Patreon and Amazon links are below. So check those out. Support the channel that way. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here's the clip and we'll talk about it after.
Since the war is back, I don't have the numbers, but let me tell you one thing: we never target civilians. So this question is irrelevant.
How many children have you killed?
Piers, Israel is not killing children. Israel is not killing children. Hamas is using them as human shields.
Israel is killing children every single day.
Piers, this is a blood label you're putting on Israel. You know it's not true.
No, it's not actually. And what you're trying to do is be very weaselly with your words.
No, I'm not.
The truth is, you are killing a lot of children. You would argue you're doing.
Why it's caused?
Hang on,
because Hamas is using them as human shields, and you know that.
Let me finish my question to you. You are killing a lot of children on a daily basis. That is indisputable. My interesting question for you is, how come you know exactly how many Hamas terrorists you've killed, but you have no idea how many children you've killed?
Piers, I will give you the answer, because when you are accusing a country of killing children, it sounds to all the people that are listening to us as if Israel wakes up in the morning and says, "Oh, let's kill innocent people now." This is not what Israel is doing.
But you are killing a lot of children. And my question is, how come you know how many terrorists you've killed?
Are you familiar with the international law? Are you familiar with that at all? Because the international humanitarian law says very clearly, as long as you're targeting civilian targets, you're allowed to attack hospitals if you know they're terrorists. No, but you're not answering my question. Israel is not deliberately killing children. And this accusation is a fake thing that you keep on saying again and again when you know we're a democratic country, cares about human life.
I just asked you a simple question.
At the same time, Hamas is deliberately using the children as human shields. And you know that.
I don't deny anything you say about Hamas. They're everything you say they are, probably worse. I despise Hamas. They are a despicable terrorist organization.
So help us win this war if you're so despising Hamas. You're offering to surrender. You're not offering to win.
I'm asking you, I'm asking you this question for a purpose. I'm curious why you say you know exactly how many Hamas terrorists have been killed, but you have no idea how many children have been killed. Why is it you know one number, but not the other?
I'll give you the answer. Because in the end of the day, we never target civilians. We only target the terrorists.
Why don't you know the statistics?
And look, you can ask this question.
Are you saying no children have been killed in Gaza?
I didn't say that.
Are you saying that?
I didn't say that. I said...
Well, what are you saying?
Piers, what I'm saying is Hamas
needs to be blamed.
Hamas needs to be blamed for any child that is being killed in Gaza. Now, if you want to go into this propaganda of Israel is doing this and that,
you know. I'm asking you why you know how many terrorists you've killed, but you don't know how many children you've killed in the process.
I have
why
an answer because we targeted those terrorists and we never targeted any civilians. That's the answer. And this is why
you know that you know many thousands of civilians, but you know many thousands of civilians have been killed. You understand
Piers,
that?
Do you understand that you don't care about my children and other Israeli children by letting 7th of October happen again and again?
I do. In fact, to my detriment, actually, in the Middle East for many, many months, when I was defending Israel's right to defend itself. But now we're at a point where more and more civilians are getting killed in collateral damage as you wage a war and a strategy and a plan which makes no sense to even your own former prime ministers who think you're committing war crimes. So don't just couch all this as propaganda by people who just, well, okay, but again, I simply ask you one more time. Why is it you know how many Hamas terrorists you've killed, but you don't know how many children you've killed?
Okay, I mean, that was absolutely stunning, I think. First of all, she makes a claim that no children are being killed. Again, I'm not sure the point she's trying to make because obviously the claim that no children are being killed is completely insane. Like, I don't even know what kind of line she was going with there. I mean, Piers was like, what are you talking about? And then she calls Piers a propagandist for Hamas, which is completely insane. And it's kind of hilarious when she's literally doing propaganda by saying that no children are being killed. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And Piers himself makes a point. He's been criticizing Hamas throughout the entire war and was basically it's been ripping them to shreds, and rightfully so. But the idea that the Israeli government ambassador is going out there saying no children are being killed, I mean, it's completely insane. It's completely insane, and it's a reason why a lot of these countries are losing support and faith in the government. Even Western countries who are staunchly behind Israel throughout this entire conflict. It's completely insane what's going on right now, and they're just like flat out denying reality. It's completely insane, guys. And frankly, if people like Piers Morgan, who have been very supportive of Israel throughout this entire thing, are basically turning on them now and grilling the Israeli ambassador and clearly not buying what she's selling, it's not good. It's not good for them. And frankly, if this continues, especially if you see an Israeli attack on Iran, which seems to be amping up the possibility of that, where it seems like we could be seeing that potentially imminently, if that happens, I have a hard time seeing how the rest of the world is going to get on board with this, especially when you see the U.S. and diplomatic relations with Iran right now looking to get a deal done, as well as Western countries trying to basically say, okay, guys, let's try and lower the temperature here. The entire thing is completely insane. And again, he also says, how do you know the amount of terrorists you killed, but you don't know the amount of civilians? They say they know the amount of terrorists killed. It just shows a disregard for the civilians if you don't even know how many you've killed. Whether it's targeted or not, it doesn't matter. Tell that to the families of the Palestinians whose entire families have been killed. The entire thing is completely insane. It's insane. I think Piers does a really good job throughout this entire interview of basically just grilling her. And I don't think this was a good performance by the ambassador at all. I mean, accusing Piers of a blood libel, I mean, that is just flat out insane. Because he said that Israel is killing children. I mean, that's objectively happening. Like, that's literally just a fact. It's just a fact. And again, even the United States is saying this has to end immediately. But the Israelis are steamrolling ahead. I mean, the entire thing is insane. And basically, the Israeli government line now is we're going to take over the entirety of the Gaza Strip. That is the official government line of the Israelis. So this is a completely wild scenario here, and it continues to escalate. So wild, wild times. And Piers Morgan looks like he's finally turned on Israel and grilling the Israeli ambassador here. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe again. Super good for the algorithm. And my Patreon and Amazon link are in the description. So let me know what you guys think about this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later.